Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to go through a really simple framework for the management of ADHD. We're going to keep it really simple, give you a couple of examples, and hopefully you walk away from this video feeling like you learned something and you can also apply something into your daily life. Now, before we jump into the actual framework, there are a couple of things I want every person that we work with to know about ADHD before we start our work together. And this is actually foundational for people who deal with ADHD or for caregivers of people with ADHD. These are the things I want you to know. Number one, ADHD is real. It is a real issue that people deal with. It imposes real limitations on people's daily lives. It is not something that can just be worked. We don't just work harder and it goes away. ADHD is real. People around those with ADHD need to know that, and people with ADHD also need to know that. It imposes very real limitations on people, okay? Number two, and this is an and we can improve and get better. We can learn skills and tools. We can practice different strategies, and we can absolutely build a life that is meaningful and that we're proud of, all right? Those two things coexist. Let me repeat them one more time. One, ADHD is real and imposes very real limitations on people. And number two, and we can improve and we can get better and we can learn skills and tools that really help us build a meaningful life that we're proud of. All right? I really want you to remember that. So with that said, let's jump into this very simple framework. Let me share my notes with you very quickly. So here we go. Now, this, again, is very simple. We're not going to get too theoretical here. We're not going to get too scientific. But this is a framework that I find to be very helpful for people. It helps them kind of think about ways in which to manage their ADHD symptoms. All right. Now, the first thing is you're going to see this big bold, modifying our environment. Now, this is going to be more in line with that very first truth that I told you, that ADHD is real and imposes real limitations. So rather than trying to just get rid of all the limitations or pretend like if we just work harder, it'll go away, sometimes it's really helpful to modify our environment to our limitations. All right, let me just give you this quick example here. For people who forget a lot of things, perhaps rather than focusing on organizing your space to look nice or to be clutter-free, we organize our space to serve us and improve our memory. So maybe when we organize our room, the things that we typically forget, we put out right in the open. It might not be the most aesthetic thing. You might not like it because it's not so neat and organized, but it caters to the difficulty you have with remembering things, all right? That would be an example of modifying your environment to help improve some of the issues you deal with, right? So think outside the box. What are some other ways you can modify your current environment to work with your limitations, right? That is the first part of the framework. Number two, we can also improve the areas we struggle with. Right? So a lot of people with ADHD will talk about struggling with what we would call emotion dysregulation, or other people call it, moods that go up and down, lability. However you want to define it, a lot of people say that they struggle with that. So rather than catering our environment to that, what we can actually do, that is something we can actually work on, we can improve upon. And in fact, DBT has an entire module of distress tolerance and emotion regulation skills. In fact, it's two separate modules. So maybe we can make it a point to learn distress tolerance skills from DBT, emotion regulation skills. And so we practice homework, we do worksheets, and we track our changes. This would be an example of improving the areas that we struggle with, right? So what are the areas that you struggle with that you could practice and improve upon? Okay. And hopefully this framework, modifying our environment to work around our limitations, to work with our limitations, coupled with improving the weak areas that we struggle with, will really go a long way in ADHD treatment. All right. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it informative. And at the very least, I hope you can take what you learned today and apply it to your daily life. All right. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.